internet, my name is Sisley and welcome back to my channel. So, today Spotify Wrapped 2019 came out and I'm really excited about it. Every single year I look forward to it because I listen to a lot of music and it's really interesting to see which songs statistically I listen to the most because I listen to most of my music on Spotify. Like, unless a song is not available on Spotify, I will listen to it on Spotify, whether it would be with friends, with my family, on anybody else's Spotify account. I still choose Spotify over anything else. This is not a Spotify ad. I wish it was. But since I listen to all of my music on Spotify, it's always really interesting to see their Wrapped playlist because that is as accurate of a stat that I can get on my music listening tendencies. And I mean, it's pretty accurate this year. There's only a couple places where I'm like, what the fuck, how did this end up here? We're gonna go through my Spotify Wrapped playlist and I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna expose my 100 most played songs. Basically, this is going to be a video about what I actually listen to, because what I react to is usually new stuff, and I listen to a lot of other stuff, and you will see that. But before we start, if you enjoy my videos and feel like supporting me beyond watching them, please consider supporting me through Patreon. I'll put a link to my Patreon page in the description of the video, and also thank you to the people who are already supporting me on there. I love you guys so much. Your support means the world to me. Thank you. So yeah, without further ado, let's check out what my Spotify Wrapped looks like. At the very end of the playlist, there's Marina's song End of the Earth. I feel like that's very fitting because it's literally the 100th song, the end of the playlist. That was a really good song, one of the best songs from her album. Then we see Heaven Can Wait. That song had a really good chorus. If you remember my reaction, you know that I loved it. Black Smoke Rising by Greta Van Fleet is like the one song by them that I listen to repeatedly. Then Meghan Trainor's After You was probably one of the saddest and sweetest songs I've heard this year. Then I Kissed Her by the Beach Boys was a discovery from some like 60s playlist or whatever. I really liked the production of that song. It had a really interesting vibe. And then of course A Rebel Heart by Madonna. Y'all know I love that song. The Most by Miley Cyrus is her best song this year in my opinion. Small Talk by Katy Perry. God, that was above. I miss that song. I haven't listened to it in a while. Jealous Heart by Dolly Parton. I warn you, this is only the first Dolly Parton song on this playlist. Zero Gravity from Eurovision, Australia's entry this year, is probably the one that I listen to the most. Well, actually not, according to this chart, there were others. But definitely probably the second most listened to song from Eurovision. Moving on to the next 10 songs, Mother Nature's Son is a song that I keep coming back to. I think I discovered it like in fall of last year. And it's just really nice. I love it. Body Shop by Madonna. I was slain. I was shook as. Nobody fucking says that. Shut up, Sisley. I love that song so much. I listen to it a lot. Ooh-Wee by Dolly Parton is such a cute song. And I kind of, like, I listen to Dolly Parton a lot, but I still haven't gotten through her entire discography. That's how many albums she has. And that album, I forgot what it's called, but that particular album was one of my favorite ones from her so far. Love is the Seventh Wave by Sting. I love that song so much. I learned to play it on the ukulele. It's such a cute and fun song. I love it. 39 by Queen. It was kind of like a late last year discovery, so like I'm kind of not surprised why it's in this chart, even though I didn't listen to it a lot throughout this year specifically. Fool Me Too by Emil Haney and Nate Roos. I love that song because of Nate Roos, obviously. Drowned World Substitute for Love. I listen to that song so much. Definitely my most listened to song from Ray of Light. Queendom by Aurora. I love that song so much. Mr. Brightside by The Killers. Never really got to listen and appreciate that song enough, so it was a good time. Was That I by Hozier. That album was so good. I didn't react to it, but I listened to it on my own, and it was really good. I really like his style. Gang Bang by Madonna. That just reading that title already makes me horny. I fucking love that song so much. Like, it's my favorite song off of MDNA. I listen to it so much. Just Like Jesse James is a classic, probably one of my favorite Cher songs. Historia Mojego Życia by Navi Band. It's another Eurovision song from 2017 and I still keep coming back to it. Still so good. Don't Give Up by Twice, another artist that there's gonna be a lot of in this video because there was a time when I listened to nothing but them in like June, July, August. Well, summer pretty much. Never Ending Story from Stranger Things. I mean, come on. Can you blame me? That was cute as fuck. Roll Away Your Stone by Mumford & Sons. I loved their albums that I listened to, well, pretty much all their albums. Ghost Town by Madonna. It was an older favorite because I'd heard that song before, but of course I was very happy to revisit it. Fancy by Twice. That song is so much fun. Twice in general, they're so much fun. The most fun K-pop group. Gloria by the Lumineers. The Lumineers put out some new music this year and I really enjoyed it. Welcome to New York by Taylor Swift. One of my favorite Swift songs. In honor of her new album, I was listening to her a lot. Un Poco Loco from the Coco soundtrack. I don't know how the song ended up here because I really didn't listen to it that much this year, but it's like the second year in a row that that song is in this chart, so I don't know. Don't Go Breaking My Heart. That was not a new song for me, but for some reason I listened to it a lot. Well, I liked it, but it was like, you know, I don't know why it's in this chart, but okay. Villains Part 2 by Emma Blackery. That song is one of the best songs that I've heard this year. I'm sad it took me so long to listen to her album because she was my first favorite YouTuber and I've always loved her music. Mr. Tambourine Man by Bob Dylan. That was a really cool song and I love the harmonica part. I just love the rustic vibe of it. Bob O'Reilly, again, because of the Stranger Things trailer. I'm not even that big of a Stranger Things fan, but you know. Prisoners by John Denver. I loved that song last year a lot, and apparently that also transferred into this year as well. Islands by Mike Oldfield and Bonnie Tyler. That is another song that I don't know why I listened to so much, but apparently I did, and I really enjoy it. Missing You by Twice, another really cute song by them. Paper Rings by Taylor Swift, my favorite song from her new album. I love it so much. Stay by Blackpink, my first true K-pop obsession this year. Like the one song that I was like, oh my god, it's so pretty. Two Worlds by Phil Collins, no surprise there. I just keep listening to it. The Tarzan soundtrack. For the past 2 years, I've been listening to it a lot. Shining by Kim Petras. I knew the song was gonna end up here. I loved it and I listened to it so much. Daydreamer by Aurora is one of my favorite songs from her newest release. Heaven is a Place on Earth is also not a new song like I've heard before, but for some reason I really got obsessed with it. I mean, it has the prettiest chorus. Walk Me Home by Pink, my favorite Pink song this year. It is so good. The Cave by Mumford and Sons, another amazing song by them that I listened to way too much. It Was In Me by Avril Lavigne. I mean, of course, that was my favorite song from her album. Handmade Heaven by Marina, another, no surprise there, favorite song that Marina put out this year. Applejack by Dolly Parton. I just fucking love the banjo in that song, okay? That's such a cute song. What Is Love by Twice. I love that song so much. God, Twice is one of my best discoveries this year. Okay, another 10 songs. Closer to Fine by Indigo Girls. I discovered the song like 3 years ago, but I keep coming back to it. And I listened to a lot more Indigo Girls this year, and I loved a lot of stuff by them. Human by The Killers. Another song that I kind of remember that existed and wanted to listen to. And it's really good. All I Can Do by Dolly Parton. It's such a fun song. It's so bouncy. Coming Home by Firelight. Another song from Eurovision. Another song that I just keep coming back to because it's so good. Down Along the Dixie Line by Punch Brothers. Okay, this is as country as it gets, you know? Like 5 years ago, I would have thrown up at the sound of that, probably. Okay, that is an exaggeration, but I really used to dislike country music. But now, it's literally the best thing in the world. I fucking love that song. I fucking love this genre. Actually, I think this is more bluegrass than country, but yeah, I love that song. Say No More by Mumford & Sons, another song from that album that I really loved. Potential New Boyfriend by Dolly Parton. I fucking love the lyrics of that song. And the chorus has a really satisfying melody and chord progression. Shame on You by Indigo Girls. What a fucking bop. I listen to that song so much. I love it. Do you remember by Ellie Goulding? Probably my favorite release by her this year. Kick It by Blackpink. I also listen to a lot of Blackpink, another great group. When the Sun Goes Down Tomorrow by Dolly Parton, another big bop. It's so bouncy and fun. Shellacs by Twice, one of my favorites by them because, once again, it's a lot of fun. The Get Up by Blanco Brown. I feel like this is like the second best country hip-hop track of the year, and it's so much fun to dance to. Kill This Love by Blackpink, a classic. Two Doors Down by Dolly Parton. Fuck, that song is so satisfying and such a bop. I love it. Honey You by The Dead South. That song was shown to me by a friend and I fell in love with it instantly. Done With Bonaparte by Mark Knopfler. I could literally talk about the song all day and how precious it is to me, but basically that song was shown to me by my dad, and we love that song so much. And You Shook Me All Night Long by AC/DC, a classic. Do I even need to say anything about it? It's a bop. Here You Come Again by Dolly Parton. It's not my favorite Dolly Parton song, I don't know, but I listen to it a lot still. Strangers Like Me by Phil Collins, once again, no surprise there. That could probably go into my top 5 favorite soundtrack songs of all time, ever. Proud Corazon from Coco, once again, I'm not sure how that ended up here, but I do love that song. Starduster by Jimmy Thumb P, featuring Hatsune Miku. I'm so bad that so many of my favorite Vocaloid songs are not on Spotify, so they didn't end up in the chart, but I listened to Vocaloid a lot throughout the last year. Lavinda, this year's Spain's entry into the Eurovision Song Contest. I love that song so much. It's so fun. Almost Sweet Music by Hozier. Once again, that album was phenomenal, and that was probably my favorite song from that album. I Will Always Return by Bryan Adams. I mean, come on. That's my favorite soundtrack of all time. Stallion of the Cimarron soundtrack, literally best soundtrack I've ever heard. Light of a Clear Blue Morning by Dolly Parton, once again, one of my earlier discoveries by her, but such a beautiful song. Do 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 by Blackpink is such a bop. I mean, I love Blackpink and Twice so much at this point. Never Really Over by Katy Perry. I mean, y'all remember what my reaction was to that song. I was blown away. Mumford & Sons cover of The Boxer. I listen to that a lot. I love The Boxer in general, and that cover gave it a lot more dimension, especially with the harmonies at the end. A Red Flavor by Red Velvet. Okay, I didn't talk about the song, I didn't react to anything by Red Velvet yet on my channel, but this particular song it has such a special vibe, you know? It's so happy and fun and upbeat. Okay, I don't have enough time to talk about it, but I love that song dearly. The River by Aurora, one of the most important and impactful songs to me this year. I'm Down by Meghan Trainor, another song that I really, really loved and I listened to so much because it's exactly my style. It's exactly my vibe. It's fun and colorful and upbeat. Rollin' by Twice, probably my favorite or one of my favorite Twice songs. I listen to it obsessively. I don't know what it is about it, but it's so good. Even In the Shadows by Enya. I actually forgot that I listened to the song a lot until I saw this chart. It's not even from this year, but I discovered it this year, and I've loved Enya for many, many years, so this was a really pleasant discovery. I Will Always Love You by Dolly Parton. I feel like her version it makes me feel some type of way, okay? Old Flames by Kesha and Dolly Parton. This is not a new song, and I listened to it a lot when Kesha's album came out, but now, as per my current obsession with Dolly Parton, I revisited that song, and it's so good, especially when they harmonize together. Fuck, that's so beautiful. Dance the Night Away by Twice. This is the first Twice song that I fell in love with, and it's still one of the best. It's just everything. Getaway Car by Taylor Swift never gets old. Best song from Reputation. It makes me feel all the feelings. Getting in My Way by Dolly Parton is another song that I couldn't even find proper chords to online because it's not as popular, but it's one of my favorites from her. As If It's Your Last by Blackpink, my favorite Blackpink song. It's so fun. I even started learning the choreography to it, but then stopped halfway because I got bored, but it was so much fun. And now the big top 10. It's a little bit underwhelming if you're not me. At number 10 we have Old Town Road. I feel like this is as exciting as this chart gets, you know. Old Town Road was so massive and so big, and I'm so glad that it did so well because it's a good song. I mean, the remix, especially the remix with Billy Ray Cyrus, the fact that there is a remix with Billy Ray Cyrus, I feel like this is such a unique combination. Like, this is just a once in a lifetime thing, you know, like one of those moments in music history that is just so precious, and I'm so glad that I was here on this earth to witness it. Achilles by the Dead South. I really listened to the song that much, huh? I mean, it's a really good song. Seventh Wonder by Ira Losko. I was recommended the song, well, my friend told me about the song and I absolutely fell in love with it. This is, by the way, from like Eurovision 2004. And apparently I listened to it so much it ended up not in 7th, but in 8th place on my most listened to songs chart. So thank you to my beautiful friend. At number 7 we have I Wanna Know What Love Is by Foreigner featuring Nate Roos. And at this point, like, there is no surprise there. I listened to the song, like specifically this version, so much, obsessively, so no wonder why it's here. Then at number 6 is 9 to 5. I just realized that I screenshotted this while I was playing one of the songs. I don't know why that's hilarious to me, but basically, Dolly Parton has dominated my life for the past year. And I couldn't be happier about it. 9 to 5, of course, is her big hit. And I feel like the lyrics bring up some very valid points, especially in this day and age. Okay, next up is Blue Smoke at the number 5 spot. And I feel like Down Along the Dixie Line and Blue Smoke are the two songs that can perfectly define my shift in music taste over the past couple of years, because even like at the start of the year I wouldn't have thought that I would love these kinds of songs, and yet Blue Smoke is one of the best Dolly Parton songs ever. It's so much fun and it sounds so pretty. Okay, enough of that bullshit. The video is getting way too long. Okay, another one by Dolly Parton. How does it feel? I told y'all it's gonna be underwhelming. Well, to me, this is like lots of fun, but you all probably are like, really, Sisley? Really? Okay, so How Does It Feel is another song that isn't very popular, I think, from her, but it immediately captivated me. Okay, at the number 3 spot is Fare Thee Well from the Inside Llewyn Davis soundtrack. I hope that I pronounced that name right. I've never seen the movie, but I think somebody recommended me that soundtrack when I asked for folk music recommendations. And I mean, Oscar Isaac, you know, Star Wars, Poe Dameron, I was immediately interested. And that song, it's so sad. The harmony is so beautiful. It's perfect. I listened to it. I actually didn't think that I listened to it this year. I thought I listened to it last year, so I was like, why is this literally the third most listened to song? But I did listen to it a lot, obsessively, and I'm just really happy and proud to see it in this chart, because once again, one of those songs that really demonstrates the shift in what music I listen to. And then in the second place we have A Reunion by Indigo Girls, which is probably my favorite song by them. There is something about it that is so... I can't even describe it. I just really love the vibe. And I have very distinct memories of times when I listened to the song. And then the number 1 spot is the most underwhelming thing ever. And like, if you were curious what's my number 1 most played song on Spotify this year, it's Islands in the Stream by Dolly Parton. I don't know. I honestly can't explain it. It's not even her best song, okay? Like, it wouldn't even make it into the top 10 of her best songs, in my opinion. And yet, it is my most played song this year. Why? Brain, why? It's a good song. I love it. I wouldn't have played it on repeat if it wasn't a good song. But God, I'm floored. I am really just baffled by my own music preferences and how they shifted, especially throughout the last few years, because I really deadass went from hating country music to being like, oh, some folk elements are really cool, to oh my god, I really like these new kind of folk influenced indie songs, to basically bluegrass and country is my shit. So yeah, that was my Spotify chart. And if you're wondering about the decade stuff, my artist of the decade is ABBA, still. And it still shows ABBA as one of my most played artists this year, which is interesting because while I did listen to them because they're one of my favorite artists of all time, it was nowhere near as much as I listened to them, for example, last year. So yeah, I mean, I'm really happy that ABBA is my artist of the decade, because it's what they deserve. Well, really, they promised us 2 new songs last year, and the songs are still not here, but kind of hypocritical of me to say that, isn't it? So let's give them time and hope that we will still get to hear new album music. Anyway, this is about my Spotify Wrapped, and if you watched this video till the end, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'm really curious to hear what your top songs and artists are on Spotify this year. So yeah, thanks for sticking with me. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you next time. I love you guys. Bye!